this last week. I love how Heavenly Father works. I absolutely love how Heavenly Father works, because this thing has been stymieing me for 2.5 years. I have been trying to go to bed and tackle this goal of going to bed by like 10:30. 10:30 is my 10:15, 10:30 would be like my ultimate happy goal. And I have been trying it for years. And every time 10 o'clock rolls around, all of those fears of facing another day come up. And so I couldn't figure out, I'm trying, my willpower is not enough. What do I do? And so finally I was just like, Heavenly Father, how do I let this go? I don't want to carry around my work stuff. I don't want to carry around my marriage pains. Because the thing is when things are rough and not quite right, I don't say anything because I know that they're rough and they're not quite right. But then when things are good, I don't dare say anything there either because things are good. And so I just carry these things from cycle to cycle to cycle. And so I finally just said, what do I do about this? And I was on a team call, and it was so powerful because it wasn't even my turn to mastermind. It wasn't even my turn to talk about it. And a friend just said, Allison, well, no, not even Allison. I was just listening. They were talking to someone else and they're saying, what do you know about the vagal system? And I was like, okay, this sounds weird. So I just listened about how if you were feeling tired and exhausted and worn out and just you shut down and you freeze. I'm like, that's me. If you're feeling that way, it is because your parasympathetic nerve, okay, so you have a vagus nerve inside your brain. And that nerve controls your heart rate, your breathing, your digestion, your circulation, a couple other things. And there is a sympathetic system, which is what kind of boosts your heart rate, which gets you into this, wow, let's go. It's fight or flight is kind of what it is. It gets your heartbeat pumping, your lungs breathing, your blood going all over the place so that you can fight or flight. And then there is a parasympathetic system that is the kind of the brake to all of that. It slows you down, and it restores things to normal, and it gets going. But if you have been in a state, or if you have been in a pattern where you have been in fight or flight often, then your body resets yourself to fight or flight. And so because I have been in these different kinds of stressful situations for so long, my body had reset itself to constant fight or flight, which is one reason why I got mono and it took me down for so long, is because my body had been fighting for so long that then when I got this bug, my body was just like, meh, we're out. And then you have fight and flight on top of being sick, and it's just a bad day. Anyway, so I had been learning, I learned this, this just kind of came out of nowhere. And it's like, I didn't know that was a thing. And so then I was talking with a friend, and she was kind of sharing that she had been struggling with this same thing of she just felt so tired. And every time she was in the situation that she knew wasn't that stressful, still really stressed her out and was really hard to process. And the same thing for me, things that shouldn't trigger me and shouldn't be, and I go, and you should again. The thing is we cannot compare what is hard for us to anybody else, because everybody has hard things, and I know that. But there still is this voice in my head that tells me that I should be able to manage better, and that me, Allison Fabricius Gardner, at my prime, should be able to handle things better. But as I was talking to her and realizing this, and thinking of this vagus nerve and the different sympathetic and parasympathetic systems, I just realized that my body, that's where I was at. And so every time a new stress was added, it was bringing back all of these other stresses and piling on these stresses. And my response was coming up because my body and this nerve were saying, P.S., you never processed any of this other stuff, so it's just going to keep coming up. It's just going to keep being there. And so I just realized that me having a hard time with these little stressors and me having a hard time not having any closure or resolution, so I can't really process, is a natural response. My body is just doing its job, and I'm struggling with it, and I'm having a hard time with it. And so it was just very interesting to me to realize that it's not my fault. Like, it's not that I'm incapable. It's not that I'm not doing well. It's just that I'm in circumstances where my body is doing its best to be my body, like to do its job of taking care of me. And so as I was sharing this with a friend, and we're like, oh good, like we're not we're not weak, we're not incapable, we're not poor excuses for whatever. The Lord then showed me an option of something to try. And it's how to reset that system. And it's that you actually clap your hands together, you rub them together really, really fast, and then you touch your neck, you touch your arms, kind of give yourself a hug. And that actually kicks in your social nerve. Ventricle, I think, system. So that your body is like, oh, okay, it's time to step out of freeze and step out of fear and to step into hope and to step into new options so that you can actually process what's coming up. So I just love how Heavenly Father is providing me knowledge and providing information. And so I wanted to share it with you. And just to help you know that if you are in a place where you feel like the stressors shouldn't keep coming up the way that they do, to be kind to yourself, that it's really just your body doing what your body is meant to do to keep you alive, and that you can make it through, that using the technique I showed, or just even having the knowledge to know that you're not adding shame and guilt on top of everything else, gives you the mercy and the grace to have the time to pray, to have the space to do better. And also I hope that you will reach out. I have been sitting on this one for a long time because I've been so scared. Because it's hard to be open and it's hard to be vulnerable, especially when everybody has their own perspectives and ideas. The Heavenly Father said in February I should teach a class that is about supporting family members with mental illness, or those who have loved ones with mental illness, just to talk about how to refill your tank. So I hope that you will join me at the Logan Library next Saturday for this class. I've posted a flyer so that you can see it. I hope that you'll come, and I hope that you'll reach out, because knowing that there are other people who get it is so empowering and so powerful. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for wading through the tears. And I hope that I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.